And we are live. It's Erik Ten Hags Press Conference in front of the British media apparatus and the international press. And of course, we're going to listen to all the interesting questions around the team news, who's going to start, who's available, who's injured. Sit tight, have a sip on your coffee, and we will be back in 10 seconds.
Has the Premier League ever been more challenging?
Welkom. Dit is mijn home and I want to achieve success. Okay?
Yes, welcome back to Mufc Realist TV. Mick Ruby is back at the Castle Hill, holding up the fort. How you all doing? Laurent France, good morning to you. I can see you. We are playing football tomorrow against FC Copenhagen. It is a must-win for Erik Ten Hag. And the question is on my lips and everyone else's lips, will he rotate? Will he chop and change? Will he drop some certain players? Will Marcus Rashford be dropped for Garnacho? So many questions here that we need to listen to. And hopefully we get the media asking the right questions, because last time we had a the press conference, it was more about certain asking about Jadon Sancho. I hope to God he's not going to ask about Jadon Sancho here because it's clear and obvious. It's been widely reported. Jadon Sancho at Manchester United is done. He's not going to ever play for Manchester United again. Even if he apologized, apparently. I don't know. Ivo Bosic, good evening to you, sir, as well. I can see you. Morning all, says Subvids as well. How you guys doing? I wasn't aware that, I thought the press conference was 1 hour from here normally, but it's scheduled according to my app in about 10 minutes. So therefore, we always tend to do the live press conference reaction as well. So morning to you, Luan France, guys. I'm so sorry for this extra. We just put in this broadcast about 15 minutes ago, so bear with us as we pick up. Evening, says Ivo Bosic as well, from Sydney, Australia as well, and also Subvids the same morning all. That means you see how spread we are as a global fan base. One person saying evening sits in Australia. Then you have morning, one person from Luan, France sits in Canada. And let us know where you are from as well. You say Stephanie Griffin, say morning, Mick, just in, big up. Yeah, I'm also just in, having my first cup of coffee because I was working to 6 a.m. in the morning. So, freshly stepping up out of the bed, waking up, and hopefully gonna hear some good news in 10 minutes. Oh my God, Amy Rourke is also here in the house. Morning, Red Devils. How you doing, Amy? Long time. How you doing? All the way from LA. If I remember, Amy, you are from LA, right? What are you saying here, Subvids? What expecting from this press conference? Well, it's a good question. I expect good questions. Seriously. It's just like, every time Simon Stone and all them are in there, they always ask the gossip question. I can't take it. I want none of it. I just want footballing questions. Who's going to play? Who's available? What does he expect out of FC Copenhagen? And it is a must win. 100%. We need to win this tomorrow to stay, even to have a chance to even qualify further, I mean, we had such a yo-yo season with full of injuries. So I do expect him to say that, yeah, we are going there with a different team. Casemiro has been suspended, but we will still play with Amrabat. Will we see the youngsters play as well? Will we see Garnacho? Will we see the likes of Mason Mount start as well? I mean, there's got to be some changes, right? It was obvious when we played over the weekend over Sheffield, and he didn't play his strongest lineup. That midfield was a shambles midfield. That was like, they were running through, like, in the midfield, like, they were cutting us through like a butter in a frying pan. So I don't think that lineup over the weekend was the lineup that's going to start. He's basically rested some players. Varane's going to start, hopefully. Lindelof, yes. Hopefully we have a regular, as a regular. left back. We will see, guys. We will see. What are you guys saying? San Francisco. Yes, that's it. LA. I said LA. It's San Francisco. Thank you for reminding me, Amy. But anyway, big up. That is massive, San Francisco. Thumbs up, Carlos. How are you doing? Morning, Mick from Northwest England. Morning from Sweden. For me here for the last week in Sweden. Guys, I got some big news. Next week, exactly next week, I am flying over to Thailand, where I'm going to spend 1 year. We'll be broadcasting from there. Don't worry, everything's going to be fine. And also, some massive news around Mufc Realist TV. We are developing a smashing, game-changing website as well. It's going to be full interactive with lots of things. I'm not going to tell you more, but it's in the making. And coming in here a little bit raw, it's Mark. How you doing, Mark?
I'm good, guys. How's everyone doing today? The VR room was really good to support me this morning at the live stream this morning when I did the news. You know, I had the thumbnail all set for rotation, and I talked about everything else but rotation.
I haven't even had the chance to watch it back, but you know, you basically literally woke me up because I was up to 6 a.m. in the morning. Say, Mick, you got to do the presser. You got to do the presser. I was like, huh? Yeah. So here I am, all blurry, mate. All blurry, having my first cup of coffee. Thanks to you, sir.
Good to say, good to do. It's good to have your company on the stream and be live. You know what I mean? The guys need the presser. They need the MUFC realist reaction to the presser. The guy, you know what I mean? It's good because I think I am looking forward to really some good questions in the presser. Hopefully not the usual ones. You're definitely going to get the Maguire question.
One, no? Yeah,
we will get a Maguire question, but today
should we predict? Should we predict?
Yeah.
Maguire
How many Maguire questions today, guys? How many? I think we're going to get 2 Maguire questions.
Yeah, one he's not going to answer. Second one, they're going to restructure it to to get the answer, right? Yeah. Now he's going to answer it. I don't know.
Anyone thinks he's going to ask about Sancho today besides my friend? You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. Somebody is it's the definition of insanity, right? It's to do the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So somebody is mad enough probably to, they get 2 sets of questions in the press conference. So save one bullet. You know what I mean? Morning, Carlos. From that, yeah, we already read this one 100%. Thanks for coming in and supporting me. I'm still waking up, my friend. I'm just be dead honest to you guys. I'm just freshly woken up, having my first cup of coffee, looking forward, like you, to understand who is available, how he's going to play, and that's all. It's going to be about 10-15 press conference minutes, right?
Yeah, I think it's you know what? Because the game is tomorrow, and because it's the UCL, I think it's going to be embargoed again. You know what I mean?
Probably going to be.
I hope it's not, actually. I would like it to be a full presser today, and I'd like to hear what he has to say. I would like some people to ask questions about rotation. I would like them to ask about the forward line, how he thinks it worked on Saturday, if he's going to make changes.
Yeah.
I would like them to ask about the interaction of Højlund playing against Copenhagen because
he's going to play against his younger brother.
Not only that, but remember, Copenhagen released him because he wasn't good enough. They shut him off. So, what are his thoughts? How is he feeling?
Yeah. No, it's gonna be good. Big up Jamie when he's in the house. One of our moderators as well say don't know media might toss off Maguire. Maybe. Ivo Boss is saying wonder if Maino is ready.
Yeah, I didn't mention anything about Kobe Mainoo this morning because, as we know, he's back in full training. So he would have a training. So he would be at training this morning and they would have their light sessions tomorrow. So I'm hoping someone asked the question if he might feature because what a better game to feature Kobe. You know what I mean? Like Copenhagen is good competition, but they're no Bayern Munich. They're no Arsenal. They're not City. So a good game to give him 30 minutes, I think, to see what he has would be great, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think he might be off the bench to start him. Would be too raw. I don't know. Off the bench, probably.
Yeah,
he might be a bench launcher. Yeah, but I was mentioning, like, who do you want to see starting? I mean,
Me,
I mentioned it in the beginning that the team that started against Sheffield United is not the team. It's clear and obvious that he rested some key players for this game, like Hannibal, like Ganacho, like who else?
he
Christian
rested.
Eriksen.
Yeah, Christian Eriksen, Varane was rested, even though he played 15 minutes. Casemiro should be back today. He should have arrived last night, as far as I know. And I think the most important thing, like he rested Regulon as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing Regulon play on the left.
Yeah, he
Because
will.
as we know, every time he played before, he offered a lot going forward and a lot of
But
energy.
don't you think that this is a game from Eriksen? For
Yeah,
Eriksen, playing
for
FC
Eriksen,
Copenhagen. This
exactly.
is for
This
Eriksen.
this is an Eriksen game, and like I'll be honest, like I was in the reaction to the match on Saturday. Bruno had a bad first half. Playing him off the right is terrible, and for my all intents and sakes, I would like to see Eriksen start. If we must, I would even like to put Mount in the 10 and let Bruno get a rest for
Do you
Saturday.
reckon
I
he
would
will
like to see
never?
that. I mean, I'm not a fan of Mount. The VR room knows this. But I would like to see rotation because I feel something different offers a different energy, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, to the team.
I mean, I'm
And
saying, do you reckon he will ever drop his captain there?
I wouldn't say I wouldn't call it a drop in, like
Resting.
I say, rotation, resting. Bruno played 90 minutes on Saturday. He might say, you know what, it was a tough weather. Bruno not feeling it. I giving him a little rest, bring him on in the second half. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like that. Even if he come on in the second half, I wouldn't be
Yeah.
disappointed. I'll rather that.
Big up, Lord Voldemort. Morning to you as well, sir. How you doing? How you doing? Or if his missus, Amy Rourke is saying 4-4-2-2 strikers. Perhaps 4-4-2-2. What is that?
Well, she mean 4-4-2 with two strikers
Oh, yeah,
instead
yeah,
of
yeah.
so
But
so
that's, I
she
was
she's
looking
probably
at.
suggesting it'd be Hoyland and Martial up top,
Oh, yeah.
or
No, I
Hoyland
was
and
looking at like
Rashford.
that's a weird formation. 4-2-2-2-2. That's a new one. And two
Yeah.
more. Yeah, two strikers. I get it. 4-4-2. Yeah, yeah.
Might
Fantastic.
not be
Two
a bad
strikers.
shout, because I mean, at the end of the day, as we see like in history with Alex Ferguson, right? Alex Ferguson would tweak his formation in some games depending on the team he played, and 4-4-2 is historical to United, and as a static formation, it could turn to 4-4-3-3 in a moment, So
Yeah.
for me, it's not really too important the formation, but the setup and the way the team execute,
Yeah,
the
no. True,
direction for the
true.
game. So I look forward to most likely how they execute the performance in the game more than anything else. And
Yeah. No.
like
Oh, we're
who's
playing in
just
Old Trafford. We're playing at home, so yeah, the crowd should be electric. Crowd should be up for it. I mean, Copenhagen is not a pushovers, but yeah, it's a big task for them to come to Old Trafford, Theatre of Dreams, under the floodlights Tuesday night. The crowd would be up for it. Yeah, no. Let's find out because the press conference starts in about 1 minute, so we will listen to it. Do you have the live stream up and running, or
yeah, I
you
have it up
do?
and running. So like I'm just waiting for it. Right now they have Sir Bobby Charlton, you know.
Tribute.
Yeah, it's the same thing that I had up this morning, actually. I started
Oh,
off the live stream with a one
uh,
minute silence in honor of Sir
Subwit
Bobby.
saying, have you seen recent Ten Hag's interview in Dutch? No, I haven't. Have you? Goed, ge. No, I haven't seen it. Have you? What was it about, Subwit? Let us know.
Yeah, that would be nice. I don't speak Dutch, by the way, so it'd be nice to know what he said.
Goed. Goed. Yeah. No, it's it's a Germanic language, though, but it's a tricky one.
Yeah, I heard
Precise.
I know a guy from there, and he told me once I grasp the entire hang of German, it will be a bit easier for me to understand Dutch.
Yeah.
RJ is coming in.
Big up,
Big up
RJ.
everyone.
Copenhagen won't be easy, is what you're saying either.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Copenhagen is going to be an easy game, guys, but
No.
like I also believe in squad, For me, squad means 22 plus players. You know what I mean? any player on the bench must be able to come into a game. It's about to start.
All right.
Hello
Is
and
this
welcome to the Manager's Press Conference show as we are gearing up to face Copenhagen
Let's
right
go.
here at Old Trafford. And now joining me in the studio is Andy Ritchie. How are you doing?
Yeah, okay. Just saddened by the loss of Sir Bobby, obviously.
Now we see the extreme unfortunate passing news of Sir Bobby Charlton there. We can see the tributes flooding in. There's also going to be a minute silence before the press conference too. It shows
minute
how
silence.
much the whole nation of people that love sport just really love Sir Bobby Charlton.
Yeah, I mean, not only the footballing world, obviously the club, Manchester United, the world, everybody knew about Sir Bobby Charlton. We've lost one of the world's greatest players, unfortunately, and very, very sad. Just, everybody thinking about his family and friends and, send condolences to them. And you could see what he meant to everybody by the remembrance outside the ground. People have been bringing, mementos and flowers and wreaths, and I think it just shows how he was up there with the best.
And ahead of our game against Copenhagen, there's going to be plenty of tributes for him at the game too. It's the first game at Old Trafford since the news. It's going to be quite an emotional occasion, isn't it?
I think so, yes. It'll be highly charged, I think, because he's been such a stalwart of the football club for so many years. A great person. Nobody has ever had a bad word about him, and rightly so. I mean, I met him quite a few times. I did a function with him once when I was coming towards the end of my career, and he just said to me, he said, "Listen, it's the best you could ever have this job." He said, "I retired too early. Don't retire too early," and it just stuck with me, and I played until I couldn't play no more. Probably played when I shouldn't have played, but it was a great bit of advice that he gave me. Fantastic gentleman.
I mean, he's got so much wisdom and just so much knowledge about this club, which is no wonder why. I mean, just last night, we had the numbers in, just over 1,000 signatures have been made in the condolence book. That's right here at Old Trafford, and we've seen it as we've been coming in today, all the fans that are around, putting their tributes in front of the United Trinity too. Yeah,
and that's...
I have to applaud some of the other teams from the big teams around Europe, like Barcelona and Bayern Munich, Juventus, all these teams celebrate Sir Bobby with us, some teams, even La Liga teams,
Since I sort of left football and management terms about 12 years, I've seen him a few times, but he's always...
That was such a...
5 minutes, just have a little chat with you, or if he couldn't do that, he was doing
genuine
something
legend
within the football club. He'd always shake your hand as you went by, and I think something like 700 and odd appearances to nearly 250 goals in over 17 years at the club. Just an absolutely fantastic man, brilliant.
He had a rocket of a shot.
Now, if you
a
haven't
rocket on both sides, left and right. Take your pick.
Right here, you can go to
Take your pick, yeah.
There is an online condolence book in there too.
That top corner, no matter which foot he put it on, boom.
Unbelievable support there. But it is obviously a huge game, so it's going to be emotionally charged against Copenhagen. I mean, lots of familiar faces there too. I mean, looking forward to kind of seeing the competition.
I'm looking forward to the game, yeah, really am. I mean, with the news coming out before the Sheffield United game as well, I think that, fired that game up a little bit for the players. And with all the condolences and what's going to go on before the game tomorrow night, I think that will give it added fire as well. So let's hope that we do right by him, because he's an amazing player and man, and let's hope that we can get a
manager about to walk in.
Yeah, it is. I mean, sometimes when it's emotionally charged, that's going to bring that extra intensity around these players. We've seen how emotional they are. They got birthdays to that book too. But now let's head over to the press conference.
Let's go.
Before this starts too.
So,
Diego Dallo is next to him.
This afternoon, Manchester United is mourning the loss of Sir Bobby Charlton, one of our greatest ever players and a giant of the global game. Please be upstanding and join us in a minute's silence In memory of Sir Bobby. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll now proceed with the
Respect.
pre-match press conference for our
Let's go.
UEFA Champions League game
Bobby.
against FC Copenhagen tomorrow with Erik Ten Hag and Diogo Dalot. Let's start with Simon.
Diego Dallo next time, yeah?
Yeah, David Allen.
Let's go.
Difficult couple of days for the club. Coming here, cap on reception, and working with the club since Bobby Charlton was a player here. What's the atmosphere been like among the squad and the staff of Carrington?
As you say, Bobby was a legend, giant, not only for Manchester United, but for in modern football. And so his legacy was, and so what he left were the standards, the high standards we have to live here every day. And of course, first of all, our thoughts are with his family, with his wife, with his children and grandchildren, but also so what he meant for Manchester United, the importance for Manchester United, the standards he set, we have to live. The last couple of days they were emphasized.
So basically, there was a question around what's the atmosphere around.
Yes, we hope. It's also last Friday essential, so Corio. But so he was fit, trained all week, last week, and yesterday he was for part back in training. Today he will train, and then we have to assess if he is ready and came fit, if he can be involved in the squad. So we have to wait for that.
Okay.
What's that development for him to be available?
And we have to see if he is fit enough to be part of the squad for tomorrow.
Oh, that's a good question, though.
Is it
Oh, here comes Tony.
easy to
Is
kind
he?
of put the emotion of tomorrow to one side and concentrate on what is a really, really important game for football?
Yeah, of course. We are professionals, and it's our job. But you can't ban emotions, but use the emotions in the right way. I think Joe did very good last Saturday, and he scored a goal. So in memory of Bobby Charlton, I saw a goal from him. I think it was on Wembley from distance, and like Joe did. So we used that in that way.
I mean,
Yeah,
what emotions?
Clearly, you don't know Bobby Charlton, you would never have seen him play, but you're aware of the impact of what's happened has had, not just on Manchester United, but football as a whole. How did it feel for someone to say, like the manager just said, score a goal that's as appropriate on Saturday as yours was?
I mean, first, it's a big privilege to
Good
when
question.
you combine Sir Bobby's goals and they relate to one of your goals of your own. I think it's always a privilege to hear that something like that. But I was fortunate enough to get to know him since I arrived to the club. He was always there after the games with us, no matter if we won the game or if we lost the game. He was always there be ready to give you a word of appreciation. Sometimes you would even say that we had to play a little bit better, but that just represents the standard of this club and the standard that we wanted for this club. And I think this is something that we have to look back and see. Okay, if legends like this got the club to win the best titles, the best games, scoring the best goals, we have to follow those steps. And he was definitely one of those that you should follow the steps.
Yeah, standards. That was David Aloy.
Okay, one over here.
Good question though.
Yeah, we're talking about legends like somebody, obviously, grown up in Portugal. I suppose Eusebio is probably regarded as the legend of Portuguese football. The pair played against each other in that '68 European Cup final. How aware were you of what Sir Bobby Charlton was, what he represented as a player?
I mean, it was something that individually, when I arrived to the club, I always tried to know a little bit more about the history of the club, whether if it was close history or even a little bit more longer history. But hearing about Sir Bobby was something that you had to have that for no matter what. If you were here for one day or if you're here for several years, you obviously know him. And this type of, like I said, this type of legends is something that someone that you should follow. Not just the impact that they had on the club, but I think for English football, for world football, he was an example. And for someone like me that likes to follow good examples, he was definitely one of those. And he will be present on me for the rest of my career.
Eric, can I just ask you about the game tomorrow? Given the state of the group, is it must win against FC Copenhagen?
We have to win every game. If you see the group, if you lose the first two games, definitely you have to win,
Eric, obviously a disappointing result against Galatasaray, but one of the positives from that game was Rasmus, his Højlund's performance, scored two excellent goals, very different goals, up against his former club tomorrow. Do you feel that game offered a glimpse of that sort of the real potential he has, and they're the sort of moments to sort of whet the appetite and excite United fans about what might come in the years ahead from him?
Yeah, so first of all, we have to work on our routines. He's not so long. He missed his pre-season, he missed the first 4 games, but I think from the moment he came in, he gives the team a lot. And when the routines, so when the combination and the cooperation will be better, I think that split moment will give him more time and make better decisions and to score more goals. But I think, the goals you reference on against Galatasaray were definitely 2 brilliant goals, and as well also the one in Munich. But I think he's a player. He will be always in scoring positions in our team, and I'm sure, I'm confident, as well as for Marcus Rashford, same. They will always, in every game, when we do as a team, do what we have to do, they will be always in scoring positions, and then it's about finishing. And I think when you analyze all the games so far, we have seen that they are in scoring positions.
Okay, one from the Danish media.
Yeah, thank you.
Rashford
it's a question for Mr. Ten Hag. Christian Eriksen hasn't started the game since the 20th September.
Christian Eriksen.
In Sheffield United, he started out on the bench, even though Casemiro was out with an injury. How far is he from the team, and is he just not good enough at the moment to start a game?
Oh, definitely. He's part in every game, and you see his importance when he's on the pitch, and then he has a big influence on our team by creating, and it's a great player. It's a brilliant player, and he's very important for our squad.
And just to sum up, and just the reason why he's not starting then.
Oh, we have many good players. We don't have a squad with 11. we have a squad where it's internal competition, and in the back we have some struggle to line up. We don't have so many numbers, but in the midfield department there's a huge competition internal in our squad.
Brilliant questions.
For Diogo, you obviously won the last 2 games. I just wonder what the sense within the squad was about the start of the season so far, and whether you think that it's been a bit of a turning point these last 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, I think every game for us is an opportunity to show that we want to build confidence, we want to build momentum. Obviously, when you win games, it's easier to get that confidence. And we've shown that in these games, when you probably don't play the way that you would like to play, you have to find a way to win. And I think we've shown that we have that quality. We have fantastic players that can show up and turn up and give us what we need to win games. And I think we have to use these wins to build this momentum and build this confidence for the next games.
Jeremy, would it be a really fitting tribute just to Bobby for the tip from the team to actually win this game tomorrow night? Given it's the first one at home since he passed away.
I didn't hear the first part of your question.
Would the perfect tribute to Bobby be for the team to actually win the game?
Perfect tribute to Bobby, yeah.
Definitely. And is first we want to win, to tribute Sir Bobby Charlton, but also we want always to do that in a certain way, and that is what we are aiming for. But but it's not always possible. And in football, and sometimes you don't play that well, but then still you have to find a way to win. And so I was happy Saturday that we could show tribute by a win, but also the way we scored that second goal.
Good question.
Another question from Denmark. Erik, Rasmus Højlund, he plays against his former club tomorrow. Do you sense on Rasmus that this is going to be a special match for him?
Oh yeah, I love this one.
You don't. You have a little bit so empathic ability, and you know it's a special game for him. How he go up there in this club, and then you know he will be highly motivated. But that's for me, for the team, but especially for him to send that in the right direction, the right balance.
Erik, I just want to ask you, Martial and Højlund are both excellent strikers. Martial's on the play is very good.
Martial.
I really consider playing them maybe together rather than a lot of time substitute for each other.
Yeah, it's possible, but they can play together. So far, we didn't do that in games, but I can see that they can play together because Anthony Martial is also able to play from the side.
And Diogo, can I just quickly ask you as well, brilliant goal at the weekend. It was very similar to the one that you scored in Las Vegas in pre-season. Is that something that you work on in training, or does the manager just tell you to get forward when you can? Like, what do you think in your mind when you're getting forward to Manchester United?
Yeah, it's something that definitely we work on because we train that especially for us to get a balance on the team when the ball is on the other side, to try to have a good rest defense. And in that moment, that was the position for me to be in there because I believe Suf was a little bit more on the left. So that is the kind of position that the opposite fullback has to be to balance a little bit more the team. And then, like I said after the game, it's something that I think I can do it from the distance, scoring goals. I remember the one like you said, the one in pre-season against Dortmund was very similar. So I've just tried to score, and I was fortunate enough to do it.
No, what a shot he did though! What a cannon!
Just wanted to ask you, what kind of
a Bobby Charlton goal.
you're expecting at the stadium tomorrow, and as a coach, how can you harness that to your advantage?
It's always special every night on Old Trafford, and the fans are always so behind us. So this is a strong bound. Remember the last game, the home game against Brentford. Even when the game is not going in our direction, they stay behind us. So difficult moments, and moments where it's adversity around Man United, and the fans are still with us, and we are with the fans, we are fighting together. So definitely tomorrow, after passing away from Sir Bobby Charlton, their hero, their legend, the giant,
Oh yeah,
I'm sure there will be
they're definitely going to play against for Bobby here.
Very emotional evening. I expect tomorrow night. Yeah.
Last question, Ken.
Erik, you've been asked about a tribute in terms of a victory tomorrow night, but do you see the Bobby spirit as something that can be an inspiration for you to go on and be successful this season, repeat some of the success you had last year?
So he is in front of Old Trafford, with Law, with George Best, and he's always with us, and they are always a huge inspiration for us every day, so in every game.
Thank you very much.
That's it.
Erik Ten Hag there speaking to the media. Now, and there are a lot of things that are obviously mentioned there too, obviously how emotionally charged.
And that's the end of the United press.
That's the end of it. What did I take away from this press conference? It was all in Sir Bobby Charlton's spirit, legendary status. What a beautiful press conference. Probably the best press conference I heard in the past couple of years. I don't know what you think. It was emotional. It was in all honor of Sir Bobby. The players will play for him. Everything was so beautiful. I mean, there was no gash questions. Everything was around the team. Proper housekeeping, right? But one thing was Sir Bobby Charlton there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, Sir Bobby, because if not for you, they would not give us the respect today to ask proper questions and to really do journalism, sporting journalism, in my opinion, because they asked so many good questions today, like almost everything we wanted them to ask. You know what I mean? They even got Ten Hag to basically give his opinion on the attack. So it's very possible we could see a front three of Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, and Højlund up front. I'm thinking Rashford off the right, Martial off the left, Højlund in the middle. I think that's what we're going to see tomorrow, because the way he said it, it just gives me that vibe, you know what I mean? And I'm like, as much as I am like, we must win this game tomorrow, I'm saying we can win this game tomorrow because we have a good team. Copenhagen is performing well. Let's not belittle them, but at the same time, at the end of the day, we scored 3 against Bayern Munich. They're not Bayern Munich. You know what I mean? I think they have a decent team, and I think if we play our game, especially with using the emotions of the fan and the support of the Old Trafford faithful tomorrow night, I think it's a win for United.
100% agree with Paul Greaves is saying here as well. Sir Bobby loved European and Cup Champions League games, so the players should respect that. And a matter of fact, like Manchester United became famous in Europe because they participated. We were the first one almost to go out there in Europe and to compete. And, for me, Sir Bobby Charlton had a rocket. He was 2-footed, he was rocket. Diego Dalot's shot, the winning, was a classical Sir Bobby Charlton goal as well, from distance as well, rocketed up in the corner. Sir Bobby Charlton used to do that a lot. Not that I ever, I wasn't around when I wasn't even born, right? I was born in the 70s, but the thing is, my grandfather went for games he was a big Manchester United supporter. He watched them in Red Star, against Red Star Belgrade in Belgrade in 1958 when they took off and had a crash in Munich. So that was kind of his memory, and it's been so that story's been told over and over again. That was my bedtime stories, and how excited he was to get to see Bobby Charlton play for the first time, ever in his life. And then Dad and him was always arguing who was the best player. Dad was a George Best fan, you know what I mean? So George Best came in a little bit later, but Sir Bobby Charlton was part of that rebuild squad after the 1958 crash, and then they went to, recruited a Northern Irishman, George Best, and the rest was history, right? It was
There's no words for this man. He's so good, you know what I mean? You can't
he
say
was such a
enough about
gentleman
him.
as well. Nah,
Yeah,
he
his
was.
character, everything that he embodied is the standard that we all hope is what all players strive to be at Man United,
Yeah.
because it's the basic, it's the requirement, it's what
Yeah.
we all as fans know, you know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's like we have to, the team, I think in a way this will also potentially help galvanize the team, not trying to say it that
Yeah,
way,
no,
but
true.
like we've been having so much negative toxicity around the club for the last few months.
But that's what I was
much,
saying. That was
you
so
know.
refreshing to actually hear a press conference focused on
Yeah.
football, focused around the team, having Diego Dalot there. There was no gossip questions, nothing like that. You know what I mean? No Sancho
Exactly.
stories, no
No,
takeover stuff.
nothing,
Football.
nothing, no agendas. It was just football, and
Beautiful.
this
I
kind
loved
of thing, big up to them for turning out today in their journalist coats. You know what I mean? Showing United some respect, some dignity. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
no, true.
I think, and this kind of moment, people might not look at it, but the fact that everything is around him and the respect for him, Mr. Man United, Sir Bobby Charlton. The team got a reprieve. No negative news ahead of a game for once. No additive pressure other than, the team, the club, the fan base, everyone is going through mourning over our legend. So in a way, it's like, it could be a blessing in disguise for a season. This is
Yeah.
really like they asked the question: is it a turning point in the season after winning 2 games, even if it was scraping by the wins, last minute wins, And I would agree with that question, and I would agree with with Diego Dalot's reply. The players need to use this, to find levels.
Yeah.
To look back on and say, look, these are moments. We've shown moments where we could be good. We have quality in the squad. We need to focus and do well and apply it. Take stock and learn from these legends and aspire to be more like them. And I like that he said that.
Yeah. You know what? I like this mentioning a good point. The players we have no lack of sort of self accountability, and true, they all care about themselves. But that's the way modern football and money has transformed the games and players. I think, nowadays players don't care. They play for the contract, they play for the big money ball signing, right? They don't really care who you play for. Whoever pays the cash, they will go, right? Even you can go to Saudi Arabia as 24-year-old, because football career is short. At any moment you can have your, legs chopped up or your busted kneecap or ankle out. So you make the money. That's the thing, right? Just to give you the reason why I'm a little bit sluggish today, because I was up to 6 a.m. in the morning. I did recap the 22-23 season. Was the last time we won we won the Premier League. That whole season I was watching, and it was kind of a reminder to say these people are not the same animals. It's not the same breed in the current squad what we had then. I mean, we were undergoing a transformation there. We were shipped off Beckham later on as well, but center backs, we had people scoring left, right, centers. We had Vida, not the Vidic, but what was his name? No, sorry, Varane, not Varane, but the other one. What was it called? Oh no, I'm needing more coffee. No, Veron.
Yeah.
Veron. He was scoring shots left, right, center as well. We had
Paul Scholes.
Yeah, Paul Scholes, he was amazing. We also had the likes of Forlan, Diego Forlan, which nobody really talks much about, but Forlan was a dangerous goal scorer, and of course the legendary Ruud van Nistelrooy playing with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So that was characters there's character was fighting, there was playing, there was never say die mentality, and unfortunately now we have mouses in the team, the mouse mentality.
These players need to be held accountable. They need to start taking accountability for their actions, for their inactions, for their inconsistencies. We as fans need to stop just blaming it on Ten Hag and coaching and all of the other things, the Glazers and everything, because at the end of the day, I will keep saying this, players have to have accountability, right? What's the reason we're paying them these elite salaries? You know, why are we giving them all these elite bonuses for performances when they're not giving the performances? You know, we could sit here and say, oh, the manager doesn't coach the players. The manager doesn't coach the players well enough or whatever. It's his fault. 5 managers can't be all terrible coaches. 5 of them. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, Ivo is mentioning a good point. He's calling him cash forward, right? Still, I love Rashford for everything that's done, but this season I'm not fancying him at all, to be honest.
Yeah,
I call him every second season Rashford because he has this historically. Go back in his performance charter, he has every second season like this. He's got one season he's like on fire. Season after he's absolutely bang average. I don't know what's going on. Like is it complacency, or you can argue to the point that he just got his big money contract and he's complacent, and that's the thing. Or is it Jadon Sancho that he's his best mate whispering in his ear? What something is going on with him. He's not really, I don't know. He's lacking self-belief, confidence. Rashford last season was doing this.
Yeah. So I mean, like, this is just me, right? I'm not like, I can't really say too much because I don't want to criticize the guy too much. Like I want him to do well because if he does well, my team does well. You know what I mean? I want all the players to do well. I try to respect all of them.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, like I'm disappointing in him because he said it himself after he scored the goal. I think I could kick on now. Right. And then you give a performance that's like lackluster.
I like to come with a good question. Do you think Arnold and Murtaugh should have stepped in to settle amicably the dispute between Sancho and Erik Ten Hag? The team has to come first. My question is no. The reason per se, because Ten Hag is the boss over the players. What would it be? You got to set an example. Like if I discipline my team or my teammates in a work situation, and then what would it look like if my boss above come and overruled me? Then I would look like a prat in front of the rest of the team. So no, he did the right thing, according to my opinion. If it's on commercial value, they would have intervened, but I think they're backing the decision of Ten Hag. If I believe it must be something really ugly being said and done, maybe some brawls. I'm not sure what happened, but for him to totally freeze him out like that, he must have done something really bad. That's my only conclusion.
I just want to add a little bit of a different take on this, right? Because I'm all for the fact that what Sancho did was wrong, and Ten Hag is punishing him. But at the same time, I think the media is making the situation worse on all sides for everything, right? Because it could have been resolved amicably. Because if the media hadn't been talking about it every single day, who's to know he would not have apologized? At the end of the day, if you make a public statement, you have to make a public apology. It's just simple facts. And we don't even know for sure if Ten Hag wants him to make a public apology. It could be the club. Because we have to remember, the club is an institution in itself. And when he made his statement, he's an employee of the club who is managed by Ten Hag. So the club will take into consideration that their employees speaking out against them in a way. So it could be also the club taking a strong stance and Ten Hag supporting the club at the same time. It could be a mutual thing.
Could be.
We need to make sure we don't just have all these different viewpoints based on what we only hearing pieces by pieces by pieces. Okay. And then, and I'd also want to highlight something Ivo Bosch was saying. I'm sorry about that, Mick. Okay. He was saying something about what coach since SAF has brought goal football to us. I'd say not one. Sound accurate? And I'd agree with that statement, but at the same time, I'd say this. When Sir Alex came in to coach Manchester United, did he win the first season? Did he win the second season? Did he win the third one? So
I went back to watch the 2002-2003 season, and we didn't win every game pretty. We lost games. We drew games against City and stuff like that, So that season we finished off on 83 points, 83 points. That took you to the Prem title. Nowadays, if you win this, I've seen 90 points. They should do it, right? 80 points, 83 points, yeah. you know,
He's talking about Rashford.
Yeah. Let's just recap the overall press conference. You know, if you look at Ten Hag, they started off asking about, you know, Sir Bobby Charlton, you know, and what a tribute, like, you know, they said, like, you know, he was ambassador for the club. He was such a gentleman. The standards he set and upheld was, you know, it's proper DNA, a culture. When you say gentleman, that means that he's a man, but he's very gentle and polite. I was watching a documentary about a guy that did his thesis about, I think it was the World Cup or something like that, 1966 World Cup. He did a thesis about that. He wrote a bunch of letters to the ex-players, and the only one that replied to him in a handwritten letter was Sir Bobby Charlton, right? He was just a university student. So he kept that letter and framed it in. So pretty cool. No, he was a legend, man. So emotionally, they were asking the question: can we concentrate with the emotions aside, focusing the task at hand tomorrow? And he said, yes, of course, we are professional, but this could be a catalyst. This could be an emotional trigger for the players to play in the honor of Sir Bobby Charlton tomorrow. Like, you know, do remember that he has his own stand, Sir Bobby Charlton stand there as well. So that's going to be total lit on fire. I believe that tomorrow is going to be a very tough game for Copenhagen. Emotionally, the players will be up for it. The crowd will be up for it. They're going to probably wear the black armbands, and yeah, it's going to be emotional game tomorrow, 100%. But with that, when you're playing for somebody, for a fallen brother, you will play for their honor, and I believe they're going to turn up, right? He was also asked the questions. Yes, he said we are professional. We must use emotion to drive performance forward and high, 100%. Then when they were asking Diego Dalot, you know, and Diego Dalot, according to what I understood as well, said that, you know, first to begin, he's a legend. He was fortunate to get to know him. Of course, he met him since Diego Dalot has been there for quite a long time. He's an inspiration. He represents what it means to be a Manchester United, and we must take that stock and learn. So that's what it is, Mark. Like, you know, Sir Bobby Charlton was the culture ambassador. Like, you know, he was there after matches, after training, always having a chat with the players, still involved, you know.
He's the guardian of United, man. Like,
yeah,
you know, he set the standard, he maintained it, he embodied it, he lived it, he breathed it. You know what I mean? Everything he does was on a level of class that you cannot question, right? And what better way to learn what it is to be a Manchester United player and what the badge means than to learn about Sir Bobby Charlton? So I applaud Diego Dalot, you know, and I think every player should know at least one to three of the club legends, like on a like not a personal level, but they need to know about their history, what they've done. You know what I mean? Because this club has been through enough tragedy, you know, and we rose above it then, and we have to rise above it again now. You know, and the Glazers happening to us 18 years ago was a second tragedy.
They don't care. They don't know history.
And,
they
don't care. But
I mean, it's important because we have, you know, new generation of football fans that don't really understand. Like, you know, they're the ones that likes Ronaldo and, you know, Paul Pogba and stuff like that. But you got to understand the history and the DNA and what this club has been gone through. The rebuild, losing half a squad, staff, in the Munich disaster, and to build it up and what he's gone through emotionally from 66, the World Cup, to 68, you know, the Benfica European Cup final as well. Like, you know, he was there, right? But he played, I mean, he looked like my old uncle, like, you know, the bald old guy. Rocked up to the pitch and just
that bald old guy was lethal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, look at Wayne Rooney. Like, to me, Wayne Rooney kind of embodied Sir Bobby Charlton more than any other player I've seen so far. You know what I mean? In terms of style of play, how presence, left or right foot, Wayne Rooney could bang it from anywhere. You know what I mean?
True.
And it's like, I think, in all fairness, we deserve a good result tomorrow. the fans, Sir Bobby, the badge. These guys have to turn up.
The badge.
And I think most importantly, a lot of them, especially, Rashford, I might not be a fan, but he of all people on the team, as the most senior player active in duty right now, should know what it means and what Sir Bobby Charlton means.
Yeah.
And if he starts, which I hope Garnacho starts, to be fair, I just hope he comes with everything he's ever had from since he started playing United. You need to bring that to the table.
It is a must-win game tomorrow, 100%. And Ten Hag was asked about the question. He said, yes, losing both first game it's not easy, but 100%. The game is not over yet. We can kick on tomorrow. And, he was asked about Rasmus Højlund. He's going to play his former club, his brother, and his potential. A little bit. I didn't see it, but he's probably had a little bit of a cheeky smile on his. Yes. He's going to be there.
I think it's going to be.
He's going to rock up tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
he's
definitely rocking up.
Like, he's rocking up. Same with Christian Eriksen as well.
Yes.
They was asking him why he's not starting. He's not good enough. What a question. Christian Eriksen is good enough. He plays for the Danish national team. He used to play for Copenhagen as well before he came over. Dude, I see so much Eriksen giving a start tomorrow. He's going to be inspired playing Copenhagen as well with Højlund. We will see.
Exactly. I think it's going to be I think I would like to see Eriksen start tomorrow, because when he came on in the game on Saturday, our midfield became more controlling of the game and we looked dangerous in our patterns of play going forward. So I'm looking forward to seeing him start, actually.
Yeah. He was asked about Casemiro, I think. He asked about Martial. There's a lot of good questions. So it gives a little bit of an indication. He didn't mention Rashford that much. He didn't give away too much. So it's going to be very difficult to pick the team tomorrow based on what I heard. But in memory of Sir Bobby Charlton, whoever he picks, they all need to rock up tomorrow to play for Sir Bobby and the crowd and the legacy of this club, what it means. So all in general, Mark, I think it was the best press conference I heard for a decade.
Yeah, and it's a fair assessment on the players and what's happening that Ten Hag gave. His responses, I think, were fair, because when he was asked about Casemiro, he said, well, he returned yesterday. He had training today, so we are going to assess him and see how. Hey Jarvis, and see how it looks, and if he's ready and available tomorrow, and then we'll have a mini training again tomorrow, which we'll make our final decision. So that's amazing. You know what I mean? And I actually think, it's good if he gets some rest and then comes back in rested for the Man City game, in my opinion.
Yes. We don't know if Reguilon is available. He didn't say anything, but Reguilon is available. Reguilon was not even part of the weekend squad. I think he was rested for this game. We need that balance back, Mark. We need that balance. We need to have a proper left back, a proper full back in the right, and a proper, centre back pairing. Obviously started on Maguire and what do you call him? Johnny Evans as a centre back pairing. Rested Varane, but he played Lindelof. Who do you think he will start? Basically, will it be Reguilon, Varane, Lindelof, and Dalot?
Actually, in my honest opinion and my assessment, Nick, I think it's going to be Reguilon, Maguire, Varane. Yeah, I think it's going to be Reguilon, Maguire, and Varane, and Dalot on the right. That's what I think, because Maguire had a decent game, and if you watch Copenhagen on set pieces, they like to put the ball into the box for a headed goal. So it's something where Maguire could come in handy. Copenhagen is not that quick, pacey team. You know what I mean? Like, they have one or two pacey players, but I think we have enough to handle them. And if we do play Maguire and we have Amrabat sit in that midfield, I think he's going to get the support he needs, someone to shield him. You know what I mean? We get Christian Eriksen in there, and we're going to have control. And you can take your pick, Bruno, Mount, or Medjugorje going forward. I think they'll all work the same. Bruno hasn't performed well in the last game. He had a decent second half, but I'd bench him because I think he needs some rest. People would like to see Mason Mount. Try Mason Mount. Try Medjugorje. You know what I mean? There's a second half. We could also see the likes of Kobe Mainoo come in and make a cameo for the last 15, 20 minutes, maybe. There's also a lot of possibilities. There's Donny van der Beek. No one is thinking about him.
Oh, yes. No, but he's not allowed to play.
He's not available. Yes, I'm sorry.
He's not available.
My
they didn't
bad,
register him. No,
he's not
they didn't
registered
register.
for UCL. But you know what I mean? So there's options, and like he just said, Martial could play with Højlund. So
Scott McTominay off the bench scoring again.
Yeah, why not? You know what I mean? Off the bench, I'm not mad if Scott McTominay is coming off the bench.
Sub. Just use him as a super sub.
Chicharito.
What?
Chicharito.
Max Solskjaer.
Yeah.
Max Solskjaer, that's what we're going to call him, the super sub. Anyway, I'm not nervous. And by the way, guys, tonight we are doing the match preview as well regarding this game as well at 9 o'clock UK time. It's Jarvis's Corner. Tune in. We haven't set up the stream, but just pencil it in, hit the notification button, hit the like, and smash the subscribe if you haven't. To summarize, it was a beautiful press conference in honor of Sir Bobby Charlton. Good questions was asked. Diego Deloy was there also asking questions, answering questions as well. I think we look motivated by the sounds of it. But words don't mean anything. Action speaks louder than words. So we will see tomorrow at 8 o'clock UK time when the referee puts his whistle in the mouth. We need to go and get him. Just woof, woof. Ian McDonald, welcome, saying, I want to see more youth coming through. Me too. We have the likes of Dan Gore sitting on the bench. We still have Kobe Mainoo. We have Amad Diallo. We have Pelistri. I love Pelistri though.
I like Pelistri too. I like Dan Gore Jr. as well. I think he's going to be something more like a Paul Scholes X type player.
Oh, yeah,
I've seen him play, and I think that young man is being slept on. So I hope to see more of him.
Yeah, Red J is saying if the front three are Rashford, Højlund, and Anthony, Erik Ten Hag out. I don't think they would be that way. Do you reckon?
I was thinking about it, but you see, we have Manchester City on Saturday, right?
Yeah,
and
true.
Anthony looks injured. That's just my honest opinion. I don't think Anthony was in training today, so I will give a update later on, so Jarvis could talk about it later. But I believe Anthony did not train today.
Yeah. McTominay should not be starting what Ivo is saying. I know he saved his job twice, but let's be real. Outside the goals, he's been invisible in the midfield, 100%.
Yeah.
He's a little bit of the invisible man. That's why I'm saying, he's a spot player.
Yeah.
But I mean, a spot. He's perfect in the 6-yard box. That's where he's good at, spot. So he's the person you bring in, 15 minutes left of the game. Just put him in the spot there and cut some balls into him, and he will score. He's got good technique. He's shown it. But for him to play full 90 minutes, it's a waste of space, in my opinion. Tonight, we are talking pure football. We're going to dive into Ten Hag's style of play and why he ain't working. Tune in 9 p.m. Guys, coming from the boss himself, the Don himself, Don Jarviso. Tune in 9 o'clock. This has been a fantastic stream and emotional press conference for myself as well. But I've been covering these press conferences, Mark, for quite a while, and I think this has been the best press conference I heard for at least 6 years.
Yeah, I've been watching it for a long time, and I really can't complain about this press conference. I would have lost money betting that we'd have gotten a question about Maguire or Sancho today.
Yeah. We will not go into the score prediction today. We will not talk about who's going to line up. This is what we're going to do tonight, according to the boss himself, Jarvis Cocker. Tune in, guys, 9 p.m. UK time today. I'm going to set up the thumbnail in the stream today. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that thumbnail when you see it. This has been Mick Roby here covering it together with Mark Nurse. Thank you. And if you missed the morning show with Mark, go back to watch it as a match of the day. Thank you for watching, guys.
Comment.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No worries. Thank you so much for tuning in and for watching. See you latest tonight, and go back and check Mark's morning video show if he didn't. He's always there on time, 9 o'clock UK time, always delivering the morning news and the vibes. Thank you, Mark, for coming in today as well, for supporting us. And guys, glory, glory, Manchester United. Rest in peace, Sir Bobby Charlton. Thank you for watching, and see you to the next time. Ciao.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up by smashing that like button. Subscribe if you have not done so yet. If you want to take it to the next level, you can always show your appreciation to sponsor our channel by clicking below the video title, where you will see the heart icon with the text saying, thanks. Or you could buy me a cheeky little coffee by scanning this barcode, or visit this link to buy me a virtual coffee. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this content. Remember, glory, glory, Man United. Glazers out. It is green and gold until we are announced and sold. That was all from me. I wish you a good day and a great match experience, and I shall see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and follow us on the socials.